Hey everyone, I'm Sachin Mishra, and in today's Adobe X tutorial, we're going to take a look at creating fun and stylized animated onboarding experience. So let's dive in. Here I have a few screens that I have already made, and I may want to add some visual indicators to let our users know which step they are on and how many there are. Starting off with the inactive dots. So let's create inactive dots with ellipse tool that can be used to create a perfect circle, right? Let's change the color of this circle. Let's pick the color from the design itself. Let's pick this violet color. Now let's reduce the opacity to give it's an inactive fill. With one in place, the others can quickly be created by duplicating them, right? So let's duplicate them and give some space for the animation to take place. They should be relatively spaced out from each other. Great. Before moving on to the next dot, let's quickly create a group of all these dots and name this. Alright, now we have been thinking to make the process easier. As we are going to stylize this animation, we are going to create a rectangle instead of an ellipse so that when the elongation takes place, it has some space, right? So let's draw a rectangle on top of this existing circle. Since this will be the element that indicates the active screen, I will use the highlight curve here. The corners can be completely rounded so that it looks like an ellipse. If you simply want this ellipse to move on to the next location, you can simply pop this element on each screen and shift the active over, right? But since we want to add a touch of fun to the interaction, let's move on. So here what we are going to do. Since this mask will follow the same shape as the rounded rectangle, we can quickly duplicate it and then select both objects in the left panel. Once both are selected, right clicking on the element and choose mask with shape. This will take the bottommost layer and mask them inside the shape at the top. Next, we need to extend the mask at a touch. So select the topmost layer, pull off the left edge about, let's say, this much long, more than the size of the ellipse. We are doing this because we are allowing a temporary stretch out the indicator during the transition. Now that the first position is complete, I will quickly group these elements and copy and paste them into the next artboard, where I am going to make the necessary changes. First, the mask group will be shifted over to the line up over the top of the second ellipse, and then we will want to reverse the two elements within it. The visible shape that is pulled out in the mask will be pulled back to make it the perfect circle. If you want to get more stylized with this animation, please stretch out the visible shape within the mask quite a bit more than you originally did. Now let's repeat the same procedure for the third artboard, moving it to the third dot. Finally, for the fourth artboard, we can simply place the first set of indicators on the first artboard and shift the active mask over to the final position. Alright, now let's wire these up. Switching over to prototype mode, I will select the button at the bottom and then drag the handle over to the next artboard. In the properties indicator here, we will make sure that the tab is selected. Then auto animate is the chosen one in the action so that we get a nice smooth transition. For easing option, the in and out should look pretty nice. And to allow us to enjoy this animation duration, make around 0.8 seconds will do the trick. I can then wire up the button on the second artboard into the third. Now let's go to the preview. So clicking on the next button will keep off the transition and reveal our animation. And because of how our layers are set up, we are left with a fun looking animation to our indicator. And there you go, we have a simple but fun interaction you can add up to your onboarding flows. One more thing I have done here, you can see that my artboards are a little bit animated ones. The elements are moving a little bit. So for that, what I have done is, I have duplicated the elements on the second artboard to the previous artboard, and I have made changes to the position of the elements. For example, here you can see the hands of the one-eyed characters are changed, their position are changed. The eyes, the nose, the hair of the second character is moved a little bit, so that when we see in the second artboard or facing towards the front, the one-eyed character are also picking up the hands in the ear. The same way I have made changes in the third artboard also. The third artboard characters are duplicated in the second artboard. The character is moved out of the screen, and in the third artboard you can see the character is inside the screen. The same way I have made changes to the fourth artboard also. So once you play, looks like all the characters are getting animated. So just with a few changes made to the individual characters or elements in your artboard, you can give a feeling of a fun experience to your onboarding experience. So for more tips and tricks just like this, and let me know if you want to see some other Adobe Visit tips in comments below. If you want to subscribe, that would be awesome. I will see you all soon.